please don't forget to smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this video. You can also check the description of this video and you'll find my compiled link featuring my Patreon, my trade binder, TCG player affiliate link, Discord, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. So check all that out, and I will see you in the video. How's it going, everybody? CJ here, back with another video. We're doing our first thoughts today. This first thoughts is on Nadaar, Selfless Paladin. Before we hop into that, though, remember that we got the giveaway going on. So if you want to win these singles and this playmat, check out the link in the description to find out how to enter. And we're going to hop into this. So, Nadaar, Selfless Paladin. This card is interesting. So definitely... the game plan that I listed for this obviously can't include too many cards with Venture because I'm doing this like right after this card is spoiled. But it seems interesting, and it's actually just kind of mono-white good stuff. Like, this is actually just a good card, and it can get you a lot of value. I think, so right here you'll see the dungeons that are options, and there's only 3. Also, it's confirmed that there are not going to be any dungeons in the Commander precons, and these are the only 3 dungeons there are. They do work in Commander. They are not part of your sideboard. They're not part of your deck. They're outside of your deck completely, just kind of available to anyone. You can pick whichever dungeon you want to start in. You can only be in one dungeon at a time, and when you can do a dungeon more than once. I think the best dungeon here is definitely the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. That one seems like a lot of value, and it seems like it could be very good inside this, like being very good as the staple dungeon of this deck. But it's nice to have the options just in case. So, yeah. It's very cool. And so now, after that little rundown of the dungeons, this deck is going to rely on a lot of blinking / flickering of Nadaar, so you can get the Enters to Battlefield trigger, because a 3/3 having to attack is a little sketch. And the Anthem effect is not great. It's okay. I mean, you could do, like, I guess I'm not doing them. So, oh yeah. First, I gotta do the categories. We're doing Enters to Battlefield stuff to get the trigger as much as possible. Other cards that work really well in that strategy. Then we have cards to make her unblockable. And then we have the one-off cards and the in the 99. I'm not doing a meme build for this deck because there isn't really a good meme build for this. I think the memeiest thing you could do is kind of like a token strategy to rely on that Anthem effect, but it's also only +1/+1 no matter how many dungeons you've completed. And there's better token commanders even in just mono white. Like, I'd rather play Elishnorn than this. There's no reason to do that. Like, so I couldn't think of a good meme build for this, but we're just doing Enters the Battlefield stuff as the build. It's going to be mono white good stuff. This deck actually seems like it would be actually very fun to play. So, cards to activate Nadaar and get that Enters the Battlefield trigger. I've got a couple of different categories for this. The first one being instants and sorceries, including Cloud Shift, Ephemerate, Flicker, Flicker of Fate, Journey to Nowhere, Liberate, Justiciar's Portal, and Long Road Home. All of these seem fantastic in the deck. Just basically 1 or 2 mana to get that, to move on to the next part of the dungeon. Seems good. Then there's creature-based flickering, like Charming Prince, Felidar Guardian, Flicker Wisp, and Restoration Angel. All those in the auto includes. There's reusable ways to do this, including Conjurer's Closet, Eldrazi's Displacer, Flicker Form, Livio Oathsworn's Sentinel, and Sword of Hearth and Home. Sword of Hearth and Home, I think, is an auto include here because there's also a ramp, and it's a land ramp in mono white. It's amazing. This card's bonkers. I love it. Then there's some ways that you can, like, bring it back to your hand to replay, because 3 mana is not too bad. So Alley Evasion, Shepherd of the Flock, and White Mane Line are some examples of cards like that. And some of the really good cards to capitalize on like being able to get as many ETBs as possible. You have Blade of Selves, so it gives it Myriad. So you attack with Nadar, you get 2 more Nadars attacking your opponents, and they instantly die, but you get the Enters the Battlefield trigger. So you swing, and you'll automatically move 3 spots in the dungeon from the attack trigger, and then 2 Enters the Battlefield triggers. That's awesome. And then Helm of the Host. That way you can just, every turn you get an extra ETB, and you get extra combat attack, like combat triggers. So awesome card there. And those are all the ways to really activate Nadar, so that way you can move fast through this dungeon and get to the end where you can get a lot of value. Other cards that will work really well in this deck because they're big ETB creatures. So you have all these ETB cards, and you can also use these not just on Nadar, but these other creatures. So that way you can get extra value from elsewhere. You've got Sun Titan, which can actually bring back Nadar if it dies, which is nice. Blade Splicer, Master Splicer, and Sensor Splicer, good token creation. Cavalier of Dawn, Cloud Goat Ranger, another good token creation. There's a lot of token creation here, which actually does work really well with the Anthem effect. But I wouldn't say that that's the main game plan. Duplicant, Elite Spellbinder, Solemn Simulacrum, Karmic Guide, Knight of the White Orchid, Lumbering Battlement, which is awesome because it turns any one of these single flicker effects into flickering your whole board, because you can play Lumbering Battlement, exile everything you have, all the creatures you have, and flicker it, and everything comes back into play, and you can do this over and over again. Like, that seems fantastic in this deck. Mere Battlesphere, Palace Jailer, Skyclave Apparition, and Solitude. All those seem like great includes for this style deck. Also Panharmonicon, so you can get double the interest battlefield triggers. That seems great. Being able to venture twice is awesome. Some ways to make Nadar unblockable, so that way you can get the attack trigger very easily and not have to worry. You have Hot Soup, Whisper Silk Cloak, Trailblazer's Boots, and Zephyr Boots. Although Zephyr Boots is not unblockable, it does give you some card selection, which is really good inside of a mono white deck. And that's it for the one-off cards. We've got Mavinda, Student's Advocate, so you can recast stuff from your graveyard, like Cloud Shift and such, which is really, really good. Eerie Interlude and Ghostway, so that way you can protect your board while also getting enters battlefield triggers off of those. So if somebody wraps the board, you can Eerie Interlude, save your board, you come back in, you get all the triggers. It seems great. You got cards that trigger when creatures enter the battlefield, like Blessed Sanctuary, which can give you a bunch of, I think it's just unicorns. Dragon's Horde, because Nadar is actually a dragon, so it entering the battlefield over and over and over again will get a lot of counters on there, and that gives you card draw. And Genesis Chamber, just to make a lot of tokens that Nadar can then pump. You've also got Cloudstone Curio, so you can, whenever you play a creature, you can bounce Nadar to your hand, play Nadar, bounce that creature to your hand to loop these enters the battlefield triggers pretty easily. Like, that seems like a great include. Isochron Scepter, say you throw on Cloud Shift, you can just, every turn, Cloud Shift, Cloud Shift, Cloud Shift. That seems fantastic. You could throw in something like Unwinding Clock and be able to do this during your opponent's turns. That seems awesome. This seems like a great include. And lastly, Tome of Legends, because Nadar is going to be entering the battlefield a lot. And similar to Dragon's Horde, you'll be able to get a lot of card draw out of this card. That seems like a great include. Just a fantastic include. And we're on to the last section. The last section is in the 99. We got Korvath and Sylvia, because it's both a knight and a dragon, so it works really well in that deck, actually, and it adds just some extra value. And then Feather. I'm probably going to throw this in my Feather deck. It seems pretty good in there. I love Feather. I have my Feather deck's built more around value as opposed to being more combat-based, so there's a lot of enters the battlefield stuff and a lot of the cards like Cloud Shift and Ephemera in there. So this card would be auto-include in there just to get some extra value, and it seems good. Plus, like, there's a lot of similar cards, like overlapping cards in this. Like Mavinda seems great in either deck. They work well together. I think that they're very synergistic, and it'll be a good fit. And that is what I have for Nadaar Selfless Paladin. This card's interesting. There's very likely going to be more that I could have added to this if I had waited throughout spoiler season, but I don't think like it'll just be like one-off venture cards, because I don't think that there's much else there than just trying to get through these dungeons and getting all the triggers. But maybe there's some one-off cards from the D&D set that'll work really well in this deck. But I think it's actually going to be a pretty good deck. I think it's a good commander, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to play. Just generates tons and tons of value. And here are the dungeons again. I definitely think Dungeon of the Mad Mage is the best one, and that's the one that's probably going to be the most used. The only reason to use I don't know why you'd use Tomb of Annihilation in this. They get 4/4 in Commander. It's not crazy. And the other one's just fine. I think that Dungeon of the Mad Mage might be best. The only reason I do one of the other ones is try to get through it faster to get the Anthem effect online. But Mad Mage is good. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.